In today's video, we're going to be taking a look here, not at the temperature anomalies, but our precipitation type. I think that's actually the first time I've ever done that, where I actually had the wrong page on screen to begin with. But hey, here we go. We're going to get into things. We do have one nor'easter that we've talked about that is upcoming in just a few days, actually tonight into tomorrow. So it's going to be happening very, very soon. Not only that, though, we actually have a second one on the way within a few days for the beginning of May. So now the models are starting to be on board with a second one of those big time nor'easters as we kind of just move into a very active pattern here in the east. This is going to bring flooding concerns, also major winds as well. That's going to be a concern. Now, before we get into things, I do want to tell you guys a little bit about my second business, Trilogy Maps, and then we'll get right into things. I am extremely excited to announce that I have launched my second business called Trilogy Maps. You can check it out at trilogymaps.com in the description and the pinned comment down below. We have gone ahead and created the highest definition and most customizable digital maps you can find anywhere here on the internet at an extremely affordable price as well, might I add. These maps are so customizable due to our very unique layering system that make it possible to basically create whatever map you like. I seriously wish this was around when I first got into weather, because making weather maps that look extremely professional has never been this easy before. So if you want the highest definition, most customizable, and most professional looking weather maps that you can possibly make for a very affordable price, go ahead and check out trilogymaps.com. And we're actually doing a 50% discount until May 1st, so be sure to grab these maps before May 1st because they will be doubling in price by that point. Now here we are taking a look at it, and we're just going to move through with this pattern here, guys. So let's go ahead and just see what's happening. We do see our storm number 1 is wrapping up overnight last night into today. So as you can see, we're just going to keep this going a little while, and you see that one kind of just gets absorbed by this kind of upper level low here that's over the upper Midwest and Great Lakes. So that storm kind of just gets sucked in there to that. And then we see storm number 2 down here. So that's storm number 2. This is kind of storm number 1.5 or something, because it is, you know, a combination of multiple different storms, but we'll call it storm 1.5, I guess, because that's more fun. As you can see, storm number 2, this is going to be approximately 5 a.m. tomorrow on Sunday, April 30th, the final day of April. And as you can see, this is really getting going there over Alabama and Georgia. So we're seeing this really get its act together here as a big time coastal storm. And really, as we take a look at the jet stream, this is going to be really conductive of just a really quick movement up the coast here, because we have these winds along that jet stream really encouraging that type of emotion. Even within this upper level low, we see somewhat of a flow like this. So this storm is going to have an easy time just skirting its way up the coast very, very quickly, which the only good news with that is that this is going to really quicken things up. So the amount of time that we're going to be under heavy rainfall is going to be reduced because of that type of really quick flow. So by the time this one moves in by the morning to afternoon of Sunday, depending on where you're at, it's going to be really close to the coast here. So this one's going to really ride along the coast right there. Not offshore, not necessarily very far onshore either. But this one really moves up quickly already by about 11 p.m. there on Sunday. This is going to be over Pennsylvania and New Jersey. And by the time we're really working our way into the morning, this is maybe about 11 a.m. or 12 p.m. We see this is pretty much all said and done. We see it's somewhere over Maine here, which is usually the last stop that these storms make before they're just done. This storm does have a cold front with it, and that is going to allow for this cold to actually make a further push eastward after it's said and done. So for Monday, Tuesday, we can expect colder conditions along the east. And look at that, even with this upper level low that now is centered over perhaps Lake Erie, somewhere in this area is where we see it centered. So those kind of more eastern lakes there. And we see this is bringing potentially some mountainous snowfall there for Pennsylvania, New York, and then West Virginia as well, and Maryland. So potentially overnight snowfall Monday into Tuesday. So that's something to watch for sure, as this is going to bring some really, really unseasonable cold temperatures. We can see around May 3rd that this trough is really peaked over the east. So we see it's just over the east. And this is going to allow for some Arctic air to really pour in. And I'm not really trying to exaggerate this. This is definitely a very intense cold event here that needs to be discussed, because we're dealing with very intense Arctic air here. As we just continue this forward, we can see that that ridge stays out west until we get some interesting things happening by about Friday the 5th. So we're quiet for the most part from Wednesday, Thursday in the east. And then we get this storm here. And this one kind of moves with the jet stream. So what we're seeing here is kind of a flow that looks something like this. So the cold is causing this to happen. And then the warmth is causing this to happen. And that's what really causes the trajectory of this storm to kind of squeeze in between the cold and the warmth here. So that is our two working air masses there. And this one really quickly develops offshore of North Carolina and Virginia. And then it wants to kind of continue off the coast here. So this is going to bring potential heavy rainfall and winds again there. Starting Saturday, so this storm really gets going Friday night into Saturday, and then even for Sunday there, it is really close to the coast as a 986 millibar low pressure center there by Sunday afternoon. That's going to be May 7th. It does innocently slide off the coast actually, instead of the alternative, which is going directly up the coast, which the models are not calling for at this point. They call for this type of a trajectory sliding off the coast. And this would be less impactful for sure, but there is no guarantee one way or another. So we need to continue to track this over the coming days. And as you can see, as we reach the end of the model run, nothing really else happening here. So the total precipitation, as you can see, we do have some activity for the western half of the nation, but not quite as much as we're seeing in the east here. So we're going to have this upper level low kind of just sliding and hanging out, and that is going to spend a lot of time. That's going to be our slow mover of the model run, I would say. And then we have a general flow of something like this happening throughout the model run. So we see one storm coming to an end, storm number 1. Storm number 2 slides through there, and then we get kind of storm number 3 that wants to do this. But in general, it's not too different. That is the general storm tracks that we're, for a majority of this model run, seeing over and over and over again. So we're kind of locked into this type of a pattern, which isn't very surprising. Usually when the jet stream is doing this, I mean, in general, these storm tracks, as you can see, are following this type of a jet stream, which is what we're in. So when I say we have, storms doing, I don't know why that disappeared, storms doing this, storms doing this, it's very close to that jet stream. And then you get kind of this upper level low that hangs out in general over these areas, not really associated too much with the jet stream, but kind of just within that trough. So that is pretty on par with what the jet stream is going to be stuck in. And that's just what happens sometimes. Now, as we take a look at that total snowfall here, as you can see, we actually still have quite a bit expected for some of the Cascades and then down through the Sierra Nevadas here. So Oregon, mostly Nevada and California. So not really up there in Washington, mostly the further south you go into those Cascades. And then another thing is the Rockies. Look at how much quieter things are looking. This is 10 days all the way through May 9th, and we don't have much going on in the Rockies. So is this us finally slowing down here and saying goodbye to winter? I think it's a sign that we might be doing that. So we're going to watch closely for that over the coming days. We still have this upper level low that we've talked about throughout this video that is going to bring some potential snowfall nearby the Great Lakes. Once that's said and done, we could completely wrap up winter for these areas. And then we do see that overnight snowfall event potentially Monday into Tuesday that we would be watching these areas. It might have been Sunday into Monday, I forget. But one of those 2 days we see potential snowfall happening in here. Certainly going to be said and done with the snowfall in the east after that one. So we are really going to do a lot of wrapping up here for the winter time. Going to be finishing up with Old Man Winter for sure, in my opinion. Obviously, by the time we're reaching end of May, beginning of June, that's when it should be like done. So anyway, guys, that's it for this video. Again, be sure to check out trilogymaps.com in the pinned comment and description down below. Get those maps. The 50% off sale is still going on for 2 days. So go ahead and grab those maps while they're on sale. Also, be sure to subscribe as we do upload every single day. You can even hit the bell icon for daily notifications when we upload so you never miss one. Also, be sure to like the video if you did enjoy it. Leave a comment down below, and I will see you guys in the next video.